picture and just on my face.
Okay. Steve.
Alright.
Gonna start rolling camera A.
B's rolling.
B's rolling. Alright. So our first question for you is, how did you start tattooing?
So I started tattooing by just going to a shop when I was younger and watching some of my friends get tattooed. And while I was there, I would always just kind of like hover behind the back, of the tattoo artist and see how they were doing it. And in my head the whole time I would always think like, if I knew how to use the equipment the way they did, I would be able to do a better job.
Yeah.
And from there I just like did as much research as I could on how I could learn how to tattoo and go about it, and bought a little cheap tattoo kit for like $100 back in 2010, and like since then I just never put it down and just been working since. Working my way up little by little. I got an apprenticeship, ended up leaving and ended up with a shop and just built everything one customer at a time, and just 7 days a week for the past 10 years.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Respect the hustle.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what your creative process is from seed to finish. So like from the conceptualization of an idea until you finish the tattoo.
So the process usually starts with the customer usually contacting me and throwing me their ideas. Depending if they're good to go or if I need to kind of straighten them out into a picture or art form that is more tattooable, I'll give them any advice they need. And then from there, we collaborate to try and build a piece that they're proud of and I'm proud of at the same time. We do the drawings and prep everything. We try to do it as custom as possible so that it's one of one and they're not just walking around with the same tattoo that everybody else has. And from there, we just go about the tattoos, making sure they have a comfortable experience, they're not stressed out, and we just work together until it's completed, depending how many sessions it takes, and just trying to give them the best experience and the best tattoo possible.
Okay. What would you say are the biggest challenges of tattooing?
The biggest challenges for tattooing would probably be communication with the customer and making sure we're all on the same page. Their expectations of what I'm about to give them is correct, and what they allow me to do and what they don't want me to do, and same for them, my expectations for them as a customer on how they're going to treat me or react or anything that we have going on together. So
okay.
Communication is probably the hardest. Time management is pretty hard, making sure you run on time, making sure that you're not overthinking something, making sure that you don't get writer's block, making sure that...
Okay. Can you go into a little more detail about writer's block and what you do to resolve it?
So with writer's block, same thing with anything else. There's days where I can bang out 5 drawings with no hesitation and each one just flows and goes smoothly, 1 hour after another. And then there's days where I can try to draw something and it will take 3 or 4 hours and I'll crumple up like 7 or 8 sheets of paper, start over, and I still won't get it. And I'll call it a day that day and come back like 3 days later and jump into it, and I'll be able to knock out the same drawing within an hour.
Hey, we all feel
sometimes
that.
you just gotta like step away from it.
Yeah.
And
See the bigger picture.
Yeah, recollect yourself and then try it again on a different day.
Yeah.
It's like might just work.
Yeah. Hey, we're all artists here, so that happens to every single one of us.
Exactly.
There are days where you just can't get shit done.
Good days and bad days, right?
Yeah.
You gotta know your bad days and don't stress out about them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, about your journey to become a tattooer, what were some of your biggest hardships? They could be personal or professional related or whatever you want to throw out there.
So some of the hardest things was always in the beginning. The beginning is always the hardest, the startup. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the support. You're just learning everything like fresh, just getting thrown in. And it's kind of like a sink or swim. And with me, I was like, there's a lot of naysayers, people that say you can't do it. In 2010, YouTube wasn't what it is today, so there wasn't as much information to learn out there. So it's a lot of just like trial and error. my apprenticeship wasn't like a traditional apprenticeship. There was never really like anyone just sitting over my shoulder telling me this is right, this is wrong. I was kind of just given the opportunity to be in a shop with like good artists, and I had to kind of figure it out just being in the environment. While I was in my apprenticeship, the shop I was at had a lot of internal issues where people were getting fired, people were quitting, and so it was just a bad environment, and I ended up getting fired as well. And so I was kind of thrown out to like figure out what I'm going to do next, and that's how I ended up opening up Golden Triangle. So it ended up being a blessing, you know, in disguise, and I just pretty much figured like everything that I could do on my own, and just from the ground up, just figured it out.
Yeah.
No blueprint, no plan, just day by day, trying to figure out and make it work so we don't die.
Hey, we all gotta survive. Okay. So this question off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So it seems like when you first started tattooing, you didn't really have like community of tattooers around you that were like, you know, I wouldn't say holding your hand, but just kind of showing you the way.
Mm-hmm.
How is it now being in the tattoo community with your peers and, you know, other tattooers?
In the beginning, like you said, I didn't know anybody, so
Yeah.
I was just like all on my own figuring it out. Whereas now, I still try to stay out of the tattoo world. I try not to be like one of the people in the scene or all that, or get super sucked into like names and people and products. I just try to do my own thing and be private and be able to do something I love and provide, you know, for my family, but still be able to enjoy like my daily work tasks. I've met people along the way that, you know, are the same, and with them we have like a communication as far as like we support one another. If we're going to travel, like I can click up with them and we can go travel together and do some tattoos in a different state or a convention. We can talk about tattoo equipment, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. So I know a handful of people. I do a lot of Japanese work, so of course I know like the majority of the Japanese artists that are around here that do similar work, and we all kind of, you know, support one another on Instagram. We interact with each other, and it's a lot more, tattoo world kind of helps each other out versus like the rap world where it's like challenge and beef and going at each other. We're like a scarcity mindset. It's more of like an abundance. Like we can all tattoo,
Yeah.
and we don't have to be like bad mouthing another artist or, you know, talking down on them to gain our business. Like we can all be good.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like you keep your circle pretty tight.
Yes.
When it comes to your professional acquaintances. Would you say there's a lot of benefit to that in terms of having your own voice and not being clouded by other people's work?
I think there's like less distractions. When you have more people around you, there's more distractions, and you start to get into this comparison where if I look at somebody's work long enough, my work will start to resemble theirs because I'm just focused on like what he's doing, what she's doing, and the next thing you know, my work starts to resemble it. So I try to stay focused on myself and not really replicate other people's work, but just do what I think would look good as a tattoo and what might last the client, like longevity wise, so that they don't have any issues. And yeah, as long as I'm like focused on myself, I feel like I'll make more progress as to like looking at other people and trying to like, learn off them or base my work off them and compare. If I'm focused on myself, I'll be able to like move faster.
Okay. Awesome.
So
That was
I
a good
guess
answer.
one of the things I wanted to ask, you know, I've known you for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
You're bountiful of information through experiences, through a lot of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of like your mantra of getting through your daily base and how you kind of improve yourself?
I think it's a lot of just mindset. Like you have to think it before you like create it. So it's like I have to think I'm successful before I physically am successful. Like if I can't think it or imagine it, like how am I going to bring it to life? And you know, just positive. What you put out is what you're going to get back in return. If I'm putting out negativity, I'm going to get that in return. So it's like the more I'm able to help people, the more people are going to help me, and we're just going to grow together. And just from experience, you know, if I was able to do everything from the ground up, you know, with very little help and lack of resources, like anybody could do it. Like I'm not special, I'm not smarter, I'm not any different. I don't have this like this like golden spoon that, you know, I was taken care of. Like I did everything from the ground up, and if I could do it, anybody could do it. And I don't think they should let anyone else hold them back, especially opinions.
Okay. So next question is a little personal, answer it, but
Okay.
I get this thing I call it artist syndrome,
Uh-huh.
where you like wake up one morning and you start doubting yourself and your ability to create art, and it's just like this voice in your head that says you're not good enough or whatever. Do you ever get that? And if you do, what do you do to resolve it?
Every day.
Every day?
I hate my work. I think I suck.
Yeah.
I think I'm garbage. Like if I compare myself to other people, like I think my work is shitty, and like I don't think like I just say all the negative things to myself, which I think is normal for any artist. Like you're gonna always be the hardest critic on yourself. So if other people were to say like I'm amazing, like I'll take the compliment. I've learned to take compliments, but at the same time, if I believe the positive compliments, then I have to believe the negative compliments. So I just focus on myself. But at the same time, as much negative like talk I also have positive to where I say like I'm the best, but not in like a cocky way, but like who's gonna say you're the best besides yourself? Like
Yeah.
I have to be the best, and I have to force myself to become the best if I want to grow. But at the same time, I'm beating myself up. And
Yeah.
like, I'm the worst and the best at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. So it's like I'll look at my work and be like, this garbage. How can I make it better? And then it's like then I'll tell myself I'm the best, and this is how I'm gonna make it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot of that.
It happens to like so many artists that I know. What motivates you to keep pushing forward today?
What motivates me is just trying to reach my full potential. Like, there's no ceiling, so it's like, why not keep climbing? Whether it's like with your skill, with your experience, traveling, financial. If there's an opportunity to grow, why not grow? Why not push yourself? And if we're not growing, that's when people start to become depressed, when you become stagnant and you don't see any change. So I try to grow, to stay happy and not get depressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for myself, you know,
Yeah.
even if it was for, I could stay the same like today and I'll be good. But that's also with 10 years of hard work behind me. But if I stay the same, the next few years are gonna be more depressing because I'm not changing, I'm not growing, I'm not challenging myself. So it's like playing a video game and just staying on level 2
Yeah.
the whole time. Like it's fun in the beginning, and then after a while it's just stagnant.
Yeah.
And you know it's no longer fun, it's boring, and then the next thing you know, the work quality starts to drop and everything starts to change. So just challenging yourself, staying out of your comfort zone, and you know that forces you to grow, and that's what I'm trying to do for myself.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Seems like your creative process is also how you live by it too.
It's a
Which-
lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a
Yeah,
lifestyle.
I was gonna answer that and say I think that's why a lot of like really successful people become depressed, like you
Yeah.
always see in the media, because
Mhm.
like they made it to the top, they've done everything they've ever wanted to do, and like after that they're kind of like off this cliff where there's like nothing else to look forward to.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the sad reality, like once you're at that point and you have nothing else to look forward to, like people oftentimes get depressed. So
It's true. Yeah, it's like a lot of people are so focused on the ending, they don't appreciate the journey.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
it's like once you reach the end point, it's like you've been working your whole life to reach it, now
Right.
what? And that's
Right.
when like the depression comes.
Yeah,
Or
like-
like you said, you see all these people, and it's like if I get a car, I'm gonna be happy. If I get this, if I go to this destination, if I
Yeah.
marry this girl, like I'm gonna be happy. If I get
Yeah.
this watch,
Yeah.
and they're still not happy, and then it's
Yeah.
like,
You climb the mountain again.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta
That's
find a
what it
new
is.
mountain to climb.
Yeah, you just always have to have challenges in your
Yeah,
life
definitely.
and something to look forward to, you know. But what do you think, off the top of my head, what is happiness to you?
I think happiness is inner peace and balance. You can have a lot of things with, like I said, you can have like financial stability and have a horrible life. You can be traveling, you can be lonely, you can have a family and, you know, still be lonely or not feel heard or appreciated. So I think it's a lot of just communicating and making sure that your whole life is balanced, whether it's like personal, financial, mental strength, mental health, physical health, and just trying to be the best version of yourself, which is a lot of like self-discipline and consistency and just self-mastery, trying to like build that perfect circle, so when your wheel is rolling, there's no speed bumps and issues in your life.
Okay.
And that's where like we reel off and start to lose things.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. What are your biggest influences?
Some of my biggest influences, as far as like people or like.
Could be anybody. Like try to keep it to tattooing, but like who influences you to keep pushing forward or create dope art or anything like that?
With tattooing, there's so many artists that I don't even have like a top 5. I can like narrow it down to different styles, and then it's still like tons of people for each certain style, whether it's traditional, Japanese, realism, writing, like the list goes on. So I just get inspired by everybody, and just seeing other people's work and how different it is, and being able to see it from where I'm at, and I can see someone from Australia and Europe and Asia. All that stuff inspires me, and just seeing like what other people are doing out there, that's like mind-blowing, and it like falls back to me like, damn, am I ever gonna be able to do like mind-blowing stuff? Or is there people out there that say that about my work, like what I'm saying about theirs? It's crazy. So that's the stuff that like blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, do you think those people that you look up to also think that they suck?
Who knows? Probably. Probably, right?
We're all creators.
Yeah, we're all creators. Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. But what is the biggest thing that you've learned, or some of the biggest things that you've learned on this journey?
I learned on this journey just how to be a better person, how to live a better lifestyle, and just forcing myself to be better. With tattooing, it gave me the stability, so it gave me a career, and that I think is like a foundation. Like everyone's always stressed about financial, friendships, marriages, everyone, like everything falls apart because of finances. So I was able to solve that problem first, and now that that problem was solved, now I can start fixing other things in my life, which would be like family issues, personal issues, health issues, time issues, traveling, like other things I can snowball. But if you don't have your finances, you're kind of like limited on what you can do and what you can fix. So with tattooing, it pretty much saved my life and gave me the opportunity to figure out what I want to do. And whether it's with tattooing for the rest of my life, or if I can branch off and do more things, business ventures, investing, like I have that opportunity now because I was able to solve it in the beginning, the financial part. And now that I'm stable, I'm not rich, like I still have like tons of opportunity to grow, but I'm stable and I can take care of, like, bill collectors aren't calling me no more type of thing. And with that, I think that's like the first problem most people are trying to figure out, especially like straight out of college. It's like, get a job, get a career, figure it out, buy a house, get a car. Like, you have to do all that on your own. And most people are figuring it out as they go. And that's like the goal, to get a job so you can live your life. And so I was able to find a job that I love and start a career and be able to do it on my own terms. And that, pretty much saved my life and gave me the opportunity to become the person I am today. It's easy to be positive when things are going your way,
right?
But when they're not going your way, it's like
that's where
there's some shady people out
there.
Yeah.
And it's even more amazing when you find positive people that are like not doing well.
Yeah, they say
right?
like money's the root of all evil. A lot of people say that, but it's more like a magnifier. If you're a good person poor, you're gonna be a good person rich. And if you're a bad person poor, you're gonna be a bad person rich.
Yeah, that's
and
a really good saying.
I was just trying to help other people. Like, I was able to help myself, and just trying to help other people figure this thing out.
What does being ruthless mean to you? It could be anything, honestly.
Being ruthless to me is never giving up. Being your hardest critic and knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and not listening to anything, not letting anything stop you, and just focusing on yourself and being the best version of yourself. That's ruthless.
Short and simple. I love it. I love it. Okay.